Hello and welcome to Firstpost Spotlight, where we bring you stories that matter to you from all across the world. From the breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, we shed light on issues that shape our world. I'm Alison Lagrange, live from Durban, South Africa. Let's begin with the top headlines. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he is ready to end Gaza war if Hamas surrenders its arms, as European leaders threaten sanctions on Israel over Gaza offensive. Qatar's Prime Minister Al Thani defends gifting a plane to the US President Donald Trump's administration, says Doha's $400 million luxury aircraft is no bribe to influence Washington. Tanzania's president warns activists from neighboring Kenya against meddling in her country's affairs, a day after Dodoma reported Kenyan activists before a court appearance by an opposition leader. Venezuela bans arrival of flights from Colombia as authorities detain over 30 people allegedly plotting to destabilize the country ahead of the Sunday elections. And thousands hit by fresh internet and communication outage in Spain, weeks after a major power disruption kept almost the entire country without electricity. Hello and welcome. Nearly 2 weeks after at least 100 terrorists were killed in Indian missile strikes in Pakistan, New Delhi's fight against Islamabad-sponsored 100 terrorists were killed in Indian missile strikes in Pakistan. New Delhi's fight against Islamabad-sponsored terrorism continues. In the latest, the Indian envoy to Israel, JP Singh, called for forming an international coalition against terrorism. Such an anti-terrorism coalition, Ambassador Singh added, should collectively pursue a diplomatic outreach against supporters of terrorists. The Indian envoy, who also served as New Delhi's ambassador to Islamabad, underlined that Pakistan houses and shields top Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists like Hafiz Saeed, Sajid Mir, and Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi, and that Pakistan must hand them over to India. Speaking to an Israeli news platform, the Indian ambassador noted that all of these terrorists were behind the 2008 Mumbai attacks, where one of the targets was a Jewish outreach center. Reacting to the Indus Water Treaty put in abeyance by New Delhi after the Pahalgam terror attack, Ambassador Singh said the pact was based on two principles, goodwill and friendship. But Pakistan, Ambassador Singh added, instead lived on the principle of exporting cross-border terrorism. The Indian envoy said New Delhi was allowing water to flow, but Pakistan was responding with terror. Citing a long list of Pakistan-sponsored terror attacks on Indian soil, Ambassador Singh said the root cause of terror in India are Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba and their leaders Masood Azhar and Hafiz Saeed. Referring to the principles of goodwill and friendship mentioned in the Indus Water Treaty, which Pakistan once re-implemented, the Indian envoy said Islamabad just needs to hand over these terrorists to India. Referring to the recent extradition of terrorist Tahawwur Rana from the United States, Ambassador Singh asked if the US can hand over such culprits. Why can't Pakistan extradite Hafiz Saeed, Zakiur Rahman Lakhvi, Sajid Mir, and others? Now, the Indian envoy repeated New Delhi's stance that Operation Sindoor has just paused, not ended, and that New Delhi has established a military response to Pakistan-sponsored terror attacks as a new normal. As India presses for a global coalition against terror, its message to Pakistan is unequivocal. Terrorism will no longer be tolerated or ignored, with Operation Sindoor merely paused, not over, and diplomacy now backed by determined force. New Delhi is redefining the rules of engagement. And shifting focus to the latest updates from the United States, intensifying its crackdown on illegal immigration in the country, the Trump administration has announced steps to impose visa restrictions on Indian travel agencies. The curbs would apply to the owners, executives, and senior officials of travel agencies that knowingly facilitate illegal immigration to the United States. The U.S. State Department said that the American Embassy in India and its consulates were working actively to identify those aiding illegal migration, human smuggling, and trafficking operations. It also warned of further steps to cut off alleged alien smuggling networks. Now, these curbs would also apply to the people who qualify for the Visa Waiver Program, which enables individuals to travel to the United States for tourism or business for 90 days or less without obtaining a visa. The State Department stated that the American immigration policy aims to inform foreign nationals and hold the violators accountable. The U.S. did not specify the number or the people who would face these restrictions. The American Embassy said that the details of the targeted individuals or the agencies cannot be shared due to visa record confidentiality. Now, the announcement came months after the U.S. deported illegal Indian immigrants. The Trump administration repatriated around 300 individuals to India in February, while some 50 Indians were reportedly sent to Panama. Now, the reported handcuffing and shackling of the deported women and children sparked massive backlash, forcing the Indian side to take up the matter with the U.S. authorities. The Indian government also said that it opposes illegal immigration and that it is ready to take back all its citizens in the U.S. who are there without proper documentation. The Indian External Affairs Ministry also said that it is ready to work with the Trump administration to address all matters related to illegal immigration and to facilitate the return of all such migrants. Now, according to reports, the immigration issue was also discussed during U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance's India visit last month. The U.S. visa curbs came at a time when there is a sharp rise in Indians attempting to reach the U.S. through illegal routes. Last year alone, the U.S. authorities detained over 96,000 Indian nationals at the Mexico border. Many of these were victims of the travel agents who make misleading promises and lure them into taking perilous journeys to the U.S. in exchange for a hefty amount. The Indian authorities have also issued advisories against such fraudulence. The latest U.S. visa curbs are in sync with the Indian government's advisory. It not only aims to deter illegal immigrants, but also targets its facilitators. And moving on to China now, where President Xi Jinping's People's Liberation Army is set to unveil a drone mothership. Beijing says it is closer to launch its new drone carrier that can release up to 100 smaller drones at a time. China is calling this unmanned drone mothership Zhuitian, or 9 Heavens. It will help the Chinese military to expand the reach of aerial combat. China claims when it is fully operational, Zhuitian will release a vast swarm of drones that would work together to overwhelm enemy air defense. Videos of this jet-powered drone took over social media in China. This super high-altitude drone mothership can carry up to 6 tons of ammunition and smaller drones. The UAV has a maximum range of 7,000 kilometers and an altitude of 15,000 meters. It has a maximum takeoff weight of 16 tons, a wingspan of 25 meters, and an ability to fly above many of the medium-range defense systems deployed worldwide. Up to 100 units of loitering ammunition or small drones, including kamikaze UAVs, can be released from both sides of the belly of the aircraft extending their reach. The design of the UAV allows it to carry out multiple functions, including high-security transport, border defense, and emergency rescue operations. The new Chinese drone is being seen as a rival to US models like the RQ-4 Global Hawk and the MQ-9 Reaper drone. The Global Hawk has a similar maximum takeoff weight as the Zhuitian and has an altitude of 18,000 meters, but cannot conduct strikes. The Reaper is a multi-altitude, multi-role UAV with a maximum takeoff weight of around 5 tons. Now, with Zhuitian, China is amping up its already rapidly developing arsenal of advanced drone technology, which is also becoming highly critical on the modern battlefield. It also comes at a time when China's tensions with Taiwan are at their peak. Beijing has repeatedly threatened to annex the self-ruled island of Taiwan. It sees Taiwan as a breakaway province and has not ruled out the use of force to bring it under the control of the mainland. Taiwan has also been witnessing an exponential increase in Chinese military activity in its waters and skies. In recent weeks, China's military launched a larger than usual number of planes and ships into Taiwan's air defense identification zone, an average of about 20 planes and 11 Navy and Coast Guard ships every day. Now, amid deepening political divisions at home, Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te has reiterated calls for peace and dialogue with China as he marked 1 year in office. He, however, added that Taiwan would continue to strengthen its defenses to ward off a Chinese invasion or attempt to annex it by force.
Taiwan is happy to have exchanges and cooperation with China as long as there is reciprocal dignity. Using exchanges to replace hemming in, dialogue to replace confrontation. We will continue to strengthen our national defense capabilities, whether it is through foreign military procurement or building resilience in our national defense. Secondly, we will continue to strengthen our economic development, grow in Taiwan, and sell our products to the world. We won't put all our eggs in one basket.
In response, China has accused the Taiwanese president of deliberately escalating the cross-strait tensions. Beijing accused Lai administration of brazenly pursuing Taiwan independence to serve Pakistan and partisan and personal gain. Now, China has been developing sophisticated and innovative drones over the past few years, and drones have come to play a significant role. Is the drone mothership key to Xi Jinping's Taiwan takeover plan? And in our final story today, we shift our focus to the Philippines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has offered an olive branch to his ally-turned-rival, Vice President Sara Duterte. A week after Vice President Duterte's allies outperformed expectations in the midterm elections, President Marcos Jr. said that he was open to reconciling with the Duterte family. The reconcilement offer comes weeks before Vice President Sara Duterte's impeachment trial in the Senate and months after her bitter fallout with the president's camp. President Marcos said that he does not want trouble and wants everyone to get along. He added he needs friends, not enemies. In an indirect reference to the accusations of corruption against Vice President Sara Duterte, the Filipino president asked her to, quote-unquote, do the job and do not mess around anymore. When the president was asked if he stands against Sara Duterte's Senate impeachment trial, he said that the impeachment is now with the Senate and the process must be allowed to take its course. Vice President Sara Duterte is yet to respond to these remarks, but in her earlier comment, she said that she wants her impeachment trial to go ahead. Addressing the reporters after the midterm election results last weekend, Vice President Duterte said, and I quote, I truly want a trial because I want a bloodbath, unquote. The continued rift between the Marcos and the Duterte families, once touted as a powerful uni-team in the 2022 presidential elections, is fast unraveling. Vice President Sara Duterte resigned as Education Secretary in the Marcos government in June of 2024. In November, Vice President Duterte publicly declared that her relationship with President Marcos had reached a point of no return, accusing his camp of harassment and conspiring to remove her from office. In February of this year, Duterte was impeached by the House of Representatives on several charges, including graft and corruption. The ties further plummeted in March of this year when the Marcos administration cooperated with Interpol to facilitate the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte. The political relationship between President Marcos and Vice President Duterte will now be tested in the Senate impeachment trial, which the Duterte camp expects to survive. As the impeachment trial approaches, the once formidable Marcos Duterte uni team now stands divided, with President Marcos calling for peace and Vice President Duterte welcoming a bloodbath in the Senate. The looming showdown could redefine power dynamics in the Philippines. This remains a developing story, and we will keep you updated. And that's all we have on the show for today. We will see you again tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to Firstpost.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all